Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. Today's live stream video, I'm going to discuss with my guest NFT, or non-fungible token. He'll share his tips and strategies to help us become more successful and profitable resellers. Every Wednesday, I have a live stream, and I usually interview another reseller, and we have them share their tips, tricks, and techniques to make us more knowledgeable and profitable resellers. If you're in the reselling realm and you're interested in reselling, you are in the right place. Just going to pop in the chat and say hello to a few people. And as I like to say, we shall get this party started. I want to say hello to Miss Sharon, my moderator, Randy, my moderator. Thank you all for being here and helping me out. And as Todd Silverhair Stocker was in earlier, I'm assuming he's still here. Todd, good to see you, my friend. I missed you in the chat. I always look forward to your comments. So, like I said, I don't like to keep the people waiting that are watching the replay. So let's get this party started. So let me bring on my guest here, Mr. Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. Hello, sir.
Hey, Adam, how you doing? We could just
doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for reaching out. Hey, everyone, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. Been a reseller for over 30 years. Have lots of fun stories and experience, and I've been into NFTs for about 4 years. So I wanted to come on and kind of just have a chat with Adam and kind of tell him about NFTs and what I think about the future of collectibles.
So Chris is a wealth of knowledge, and it's very vast and very diverse, so to speak. So I always think about Chris as one of my favorite guests to have on my chat. I mean, I'm complimenting him, but I truly, from my heart, I mean that. So and he's so knowledgeable. And I reached out to him and I said, Chris, give you guys a little behind the scenes stuff. What would you like to talk about? He goes, NFT. And I'm thinking, NFT, I kind of sort of know what that is, but I really know very little about it. So I did some research, and I'm just going to read you something from, we all know Gary Vee. I'm just going to open the show up with that, and I'm going to have Chris explain what NFT is, and we're going to get into it. And we're going to like play back and forth and talk about NFT. And any questions you guys have in the chat, please bring them up in the chat, and we'll address them with Chris. So let me just read something. Gary Vee's done a couple video podcasts about the NFT, which is non-fungible token, and there's things to be touched about. But let me just tell you what Gary said in the one video I watched. It says he posted a video podcast where he said he was going to draw / produce 5,555 pictures, digital NFTs himself. He's in the NFT like he was into sports card, collectibles, wine, entrepreneurship, etc. He said that the NFT thing is going to be one of the biggest technology shifts in our lives. He believes that there's going to be a tremendous amount of collector, flipper, and traders of NFT. He believes that careers will be created by this movement and encouraged, whereas in the past, sometimes parents would discourage their children from choosing art as a career. He said this is an opportunity for them. He also said provenance will be very important with NFT. So let's get into what an NFT is, and we'll have Chris educate us on it.
So
I'm going to put you on full screen, my friend.
So, do you want to do that to your audience?
Well, yeah, you're just better looking guy, man.
Hey, everyone, how you doing? So, I thought it was pretty funny that Gary Vee got into NFTs when he did. About 3 years ago, I was trying to get him involved with the blockchain and everything because I was heavily involved with blockchain for many years, and we were gonna do an action figure together. And some of you who have seen my Instagram post, you've seen that figure, and we kind of got into the very beginning of the ins and outs of that. And I was talking to his people, and I was trying to explain to him, like, hey, you need to check out this blockchain thing, because at the time I was posting on a site called Steemit, where you can earn some cryptocurrency by just blogging and vlogging and stuff like that. So I was trying to get him involved, and he wanted nothing to do with it. So I think it's funny that, after these few years that he's finally like got it and gets it. And I will definitely agree of all the different things that he said there. There's a lot of truth to it's a new collectible asset. It's going to create millionaires. It's going to be the next new thing. And, I think this is going to stay. And, the technology involved, it's a little hard to kind of understand at the beginning, but I think once you get a certain grasp of what's going on, it gets a lot easier. It's just like anything else. When eBay started in 1995, I was one of the first people on eBay, and it was hard, like trying to figure out how to list something and how to take pictures, and especially those days where you had to use floppy disks and literally go to the develop film and then scan your film in just to to list an item. So there's a technology barrier that I think people are going to have to get over at some point. And this is not going to be for everyone, to be honest. It's basically a new asset class. It's a new collectible category. The digitization of everything is becoming, more and more relevant. The teenagers and the current generation that are growing up now are moving away from analog items, and now we're starting to get into digital items. You can see that a lot with, different, if cousins or kids or anyone growing up, you can see everyone's on their phones, everyone's using the computer, everyone's on TikTok. So there's that new generation of kids that, won't know what a cassette player is or what batteries are, or, you know what I mean? All these little things.
CD.
Yeah, all these
what
things.
a DVD is, right?
Yeah, and all these
digital.
things. Yeah, and all these things that we took for granted. So, non-fungible tokens, real quick for anyone, it's basically like a digital asset, a digital collectible, and they're usually backed by different blockchains. And what I mean by that is, so let's say you have a digital photo or a digital collectible. It's going to be backed on a blockchain. So what that means is, like, it's a different token. And so there's different blockchains with these different NFTs. Not every NFT is going to have the same blockchain like Bitcoin. Ethereum is a popular blockchain that does NFTs. Wax, that I'm heavily involved in, is another blockchain. So imagine, like, there's different countries, and they're all making NFTs in their country. So that's basically the different blockchains. Not every NFT is going to be the same. There's not like, a Beanie Baby and the Thai manufacturers make that Beanie Baby. No, an NFT could be produced from many different blockchains. Bitcoin's not one of them, but Ethereum's one of them. Wax is another one. And so, people are just creating, tokenizing their art, turning them digital and then selling them either as one of a kinds or multiples or just even infinity. But non-fungible token means it's a unique digital asset, verifiable on the blockchain. So, you can take a photo of something that you draw, you can scan it, make an NFT of it. It could be one of a kind, or you can produce 5,000 copies of it. But each of those 5,000 copies are going to be a unique asset with a unique ID number for those 5,000. So it's when Gary Vee talks about provenance, that's what he means. It's like digital assurance that, that particular barcode or that particular asset ID is correlated with that particular physical asset or digital asset. And so that's a very broad term for NFT, but sorry if I'm rambling on.
Like I told you, I did some research on this when we said we're going to do in the show. How will this compare to something like a lithograph? I mean, as far as like a digital and a printed version of something that is an original, and you make X amount of copies of it.
Right, and it's the same. It's the same thing. It's just that, like, an NFT is a digital version,
right,
of that lithograph, and ironically, you can take the lithograph if you own it. Not if you're the artist and you
right,
own the copyright.
Right.
You can take said lithograph, scan it, digitize it, and turn it into an NFT, and then you can either sell one copy or you can sell 10 million copies. Each will have its unique properties, but it'll be a digital version. Now, NFTs for the most part are digital assets, but it doesn't say you could create an NFT that you can redeem for a physical item or a concert ticket or something that's verifiable. So that's what's nice about the blockchain is it validates the provenance. It's like you own it. So, like, let's say eventually concert goers or concert promoters are going to make NFTs out of concert tickets. So then you get a NFT on your phone. It has a unique barcode, a unique asset ID, and then you won't be ripped off by a scalper that's selling you a fake ticket because it's verifiable on the blockchain. So there's
that'll be like your ticket for admission would be your digital.
Could be a digital,
and it's a collectible item, just like people that collect concert tickets would have.
Right. And then so that digital ticket would be in your digital wallet on your phone.
Right.
And then it's hard to, you can't really duplicate it because it's like in your wallet and it's got a verifiable ID
Right.
and you can just check it against the blockchain. And I think that's what's so nice about blockchain technology is it's kind of scary in a way too, because I mean, sure, there's privacy issues and things like that, but I think it scares governments more than anything because now everything, there's checks and balances. You could see how much money someone has in their wallet or what's in their wallet, or you know what I mean? Like there's that whole thing, and it's scary. And so we're just in the very beginning. We're in the first inning of blockchain technology and NFTs, and it's very exciting because it's a new asset class, and it's basically like I don't want to say it's like the new Beanie Babies because that was like a whole craze, and then
Right.
they're not worth anything now.
Like the Funko Pops and
Speaking of Funko Pops, I'm so glad you brought that up. Funko is going to be doing NFTs on the Wax
oh,
blockchain
really?
in the
Okay.
summer. So they're getting into it where you're going to be able to, I'm not exactly sure 100% what they're going to do, but I'm sure there's going to be some method where you open a digital pack of cards, you get the different Funko Pops. Some of them have different rarities. And then there might be one where you can exchange for a real pop. You send a code
Oh,
in a
it's like a
website.
limited edition Funko Pop, and if you have the
Right.
NFT, you can get the
Right.
physical item.
Exactly. So
Okay.
Tops just got into NFTs last year on the Wax
That would make
blockchain.
sense. Sports collectibles, right? Cards are
And
getting hot again,
so,
supposedly.
yeah,
Collectible cards.
so there's the whole digital aspect of a lot of collectibles. And what's so nice about NFTs, especially on the Wax blockchain, is there's no shipping, there's no chargebacks. The money goes straight into your digital wallet. Of course, it's not going to be, you're not going to get like US dollars. It's going to be a token that you have to exchange for US dollars.
Okay.
And as we can see today, there was
So
a
you're going to get digital currency, basically.
you're
Is
going
what
to
you're
get
going to get.
digital currency for these items.
Okay. That I wasn't aware of. That well, it would make sense, but
Right. There's a whole lot of regulatory issues with just going straight into US dollars. So that's why there's tokens. And then you have to go to like a Coinbase, which is basically like a bank, a digital bank that you have to exchange your cryptocurrency for US dollars. And then it goes into your bank account. So there's a little bit of a trail that you need to do to
okay.
actually get cash in your hands. So there's that. But yeah, there's a lot of companies jumping in to the Wax blockchain. Gary Vee,
You
he's
say
doing
Wax blockchain. Could you just elaborate a little bit on that?
it's basically like its own blockchain. So Gary Vee's doing stuff on Ethereum, and some people have heard
Right.
of the Ethereum blockchain. It's kind of like
Right.
Bitcoin. It's proof of work, which there's miners. So basically, there's like different computers calculating the transactions and doing
Right.
all that. The Wax blockchain is proof of stake. It's a whole other thing to get into. But it's just basically like two different companies. Think of like blockchains as companies, like Bitcoin's its own company, Ethereum its own company, and these different companies are making their own NFTs. And as a creator,
Okay.
you or I, on the Wax blockchain, they make it easy for you to create your own NFTs without, all kinds of crazy fees and all that, because Ethereum has insane gas fees, which is basically like a fee for making something or sending an NFT to someone else. And that's been a huge problem in the blockchain space for the last few years, the Ethereum gas fees. So I know we're getting a little bit, off topic here,
Yeah.
but so
Well,
if
one
you
thing
have
I want to
anything,
bring up, and I'm kind of like bring this into like, it is the real world. I mean, this is the real world. I mean, 2020 and 2021 is our new reality. Let's face it. I mean, things are different. They'll never be the same. But one thing I found interesting, like I said, doing my research, was I watched a video and they were talking. It was like a video podcast that Gary was on, and the host was saying something about, I used to go to the Met Museum in New York, and he says, because I often wondered, because we're talking about provenance, that the art pieces from these, like Renoir or Van Gogh or whomever, that was on display, because I often wondered if that was a copy, and then the original piece was stored in some kind of environmentally protected safe somewhere. I mean, again, how do we know? We don't know.
you don't.
Right?
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the nice things about, NFTs and blockchains is, you you'll be able to now one can literally take a copy of an NFT because it's basically like a computer image, like a JPEG, or it could be like a
Right.
graphic image or even like a 3D model, and someone can duplicate that. But what's nice about the blockchain is you'll be able to see who the owner is and if it's verified. So if you see like,
That's how you
some
prove the provenance.
right, and so if you see like someone, like if you see like, oh, this is a Van Gogh, but Van Gogh isn't the one that created this, and there's not a verification check mark next to his name, this is not real. This is fake. And then usually the blockchains, there's administrators that run certain sites and they'll remove that stuff. So, provenance is a major thing. And, it's going to be one of those things down the road where NFTs are going to be involved with insurance claims and house properties and all that kind of stuff. So,
See what Jules
yeah.
said?
No.
She says, actually, museums do have copies shows versus original with the originals in vaults.
I've heard that. I heard the
had
Mona
never
Lisa's.
heard. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
today was the first day. And again, guys, that's why I enjoy doing this type of content. I mean, I know it's a little deep and it's a little off topic,
It's
but it kind
way
of
off
relates to
topic.
reselling. And I often say on this show, any day I learn something new is a good day. And again, I tell you, I come from a background of school teachers, and I found it interesting just doing some research on this. And I had never even considered that museums would have. I know they're not counterfeits; they're professionally made copies of very collectible, unique items, and they would put them on display, and then vault and protect the original piece.
Yeah, I heard the
I'd never
Mona
even considered
Lisa.
that.
Yeah, I heard
Never.
the Mona Lisa, the one that's on display, is not the real one. That there's
It
actually
makes sense
two.
now. I mean, after I thought about it.
And in I think in art circles there actually is a name for the fake, and
Okay.
it gets passed around a lot. But yeah, no, I mean, that thing's for sure. It's like,
I guess insurance companies said we're not going to insure it unless you protect it and you just can't have it on display in a museum.
right. I've seen some pretty interesting documentaries about art, and I love art. It's one of those subjects that I really love. And there's been so many cases of people forging different
Sure.
artists, and things that are hanging in the museums aren't quite what people think they are, and vice versa. There's people that have, things in their house that was stolen or whatever by gained by some other means, and it's
Right.
multi-million-dollar paintings hanging in
They
their house.
stole
Yeah.
an individual art piece and they swapped it out with a
Yeah,
very
and
well
yeah,
made counterfeit, and they have the
exactly.
original in their property.
Yeah, exactly. That stuff has happened too. So it's
But
pretty
with
funny.
again, now you're talking about with the NFT, it's going to have provenance. It's going to have a digital track.
Right. And so you can verify all that kind of stuff on the blockchain. And, and that's what's nice about these different technologies is it's still the beginning. Like, I've been into NFTs since 2016. So it's actually really cool to see it start to blossom now. Now, I would say like it is kind of in a bubble in terms of there's like that Beanie Baby frenzy right now where people are just buying up all kinds of NFTs for crazy money. And eventually, the cream's going to rise to the top. And so, anyone that's getting into NFTs, I highly suggest getting a Wax Cloud wallet. We'll have links in the description, Adam. I think, towards the end of some other time, maybe by the time you're watching this video. And I would love to give everyone here that's watching, some free NFTs on the Wax blockchain. If they do set up a cloud wallet, it's free. And, you can start to see how this is, because I do believe that, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be digitized. Topps is already involved. Funko is going to be involved. So it's basically as resellers. And you're saying, like, how does this tie into reselling? It kind of does, because you can see the frenzy with sports cards right now at Target. I don't know if you know, but Target just stopped selling.
I posted on my Facebook group. Yep, I did post about the article about that. They stopped selling.
So do you want to explain
sports cards because people were physically getting in fights?
Right.
Over because they had limited editions and they were fighting, I guess, over the position in the line, or you got one, why can't I get one?
Right. So there's a lot of resellers. Like, I've been in a sports card since the 80s, and I've seen that whole industry evolve to what it is in today. And, it's kind of crazy to see the whole sports market take off over the last 2 years. The pandemic kind of, exacerbated that whole situation where people were home and they had some extra money because of stimulus and they wanted to buy some cards and, go into the nostalgia thing. So NFTs, involves reselling, because I've made a ton of money doing this. Like, I've made thousands of dollars. Like, I don't even want to talk about like how much my NFTs are worth, but like I can retire at this point right now with what I've done already. So resellers, this is definitely something that if you're looking for something else to kind of to do research on and possibly make some money on, and it's fun. Like, and I think that's what got into it for me. I didn't get into it for the money. I just happened to be here when the thing got popular, and I just happened to know all this stuff. And so I've been buying and selling and doing all that. So in the reselling aspect, we just talked about the sports cards. They're basically like digital sports cards. Some of them, some of them are art related, some of them are sports related. And I think in the next 5 years, you're really going to start to hear about this. Like, I think people that have no idea what I'm talking about right now, you're barely starting to hear about this, even though this stuff has been out for years.
Yeah, like I said, I say within the last several months, I just started hearing about it.
So real quick, Adam, like, what do you think an NFT is? When you hear this, and from what you know right now, what do you think it is?
I think it's some kind of art or digital art or character that is produced or production of a specific piece of art, or I don't know, could it be an emoji that's recreated and turned into like a different form? I mean, that's just the what I get out of it.
So it's all these things. And for the first time, artists have control of their own financial destinies. Before, in the music industry, you would make a record under a record label. The record company would produce the records. They would press the records on wax. No pun intended. That's actually pretty funny. And then, they would distribute it. So there's all these middlemen that get paid.
They're all getting their piece, and the artist got the least
small
piece.
And right now we're in a position where these artists and music NFTs are barely starting to come out too. That's going to be a huge thing. So now the artist is in control. They produce, they distribute, they set how much they want to get paid. They set how much the price is. There's no middlemen. And what's so great about these platforms like the Wax blockchain is, let's say I produce a record or a piece of art and I sell it. When that other person sells it, the artist gets a commission, and you can set that in the smart contract. So every time, so think about this. This is what's so great about NFTs, especially on the Wax blockchain, is if I sell my art, I get the money from selling it. And then anytime anyone else sells it, I get a residual, and that money is forever. So basically, you know how
they purchased it, when they sell it and they don't own it anymore, you still get a commission.
I or you or anyone else still gets a kickback. And this is life changing. This is industry changing. And so that's why Topps has gone in.
Very unusual.
Yeah. And that's why Topps got in on the Wax blockchain, is because now, Topps's money was made when you bought a box of cards, and then the shop sold the pack of cards to whatever. Now Topps digitally could sell a pack of cards, and they get that money. But every time you sell a player or a unique item from that pack, Topps gets a little kickback.
Additional fee.
So the money on the back end is going to be incredible. It's millions of dollars. So this is what a lot of companies are starting to get it. Like, oh my God, like, we're just not going to make money on the initial purchase. There's like infinity that's going to happen here for the rest of the time. As long as that blockchain, 20 years from now, Adam, if I sold an NFT of you, and by the way, I'm going to make an NFT of you just from this one show. If I sold that 20 years down the road, if someone was selling that, I would still get a commission 20 years down the road to my wallet that created that NFT. And you can set it up where I make the NFT and I set up the smart contract where you get the money. So every time that sells that I created, your wallet will get the money. So there's lots of interesting avenues. And we talked about music. Music has just started to get involved with NFTs, and that's going to be game changing, like incredibly. And it's frightening for the old guard, the old banking system, the old legacy systems are scared of this. And this is why you see Bitcoin, probably losing 30% of its value today, is because there's the FUD, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt. Oh my God.
Chris and I had a little pre-chat, and we were talking about that. And he said it's kind of crazy that that Bitcoin went down so much today, cryptocurrency went down so much today, and I was kind of questioning him, why is that? And then he said the FUD, and I said, I don't know what the FUD is. I know what FOMO is, because it's like when you're a reseller, like if you don't go out to the yard sale or the estate sale, you have fear of missing out. If I don't get there at 7:30 for an 8 o'clock yard sale, I'm going to miss out on all the good stuff. If I don't get there the first day of an estate sale, I'm going to miss out on the good stuff. So what is this FUD?
So FUD is the exact opposite of FOMO. So FOMO, fear of missing out, you got to have it. You're going to pay whatever for it. FUD is the opposite. It's like when you buy it and no one wants it and they tell you that it's radioactive and you're going to die if you're holding it. Like that's FUD. And I think what's happening is,
what did the letter stand for? FUD?
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD.
Fear, like uncertainty, and doubt. Okay.
And doubt, just like Elmer Fudd.
Okay.
But it's yeah, and it's the same thing. And I can't tell you exactly why. Yeah, I can't tell you exactly why Bitcoin's crashing today, other than maybe there's some regulatory things that are being whispered about, or it's like stocks. They're pretty much like digital stocks, and if a bunch of people start selling, it's like a cascading thing, and everyone's like, oh my god, like I better sell before it goes to zero. There's that whole aspect of it. Think of blockchain as like in Bitcoin, not as like money, but as like a new technology, which it is. It's almost like a verification system. It's a digital ledger. This is all new. It's going to be a part of our lives, whether we like it or not. So you might as well try to at least get a little bit of a grasp of what's going on, because it's going to change the financial system. It's going to change the legacy insurance system, banking. All this stuff is going to change at some point.
Think about it. It's just in the last 20 years, all the not weird things, just different things have happened. I mean, the internet, email. A friend of mine who works for the company I used to work for, they no longer have voicemail. They did away with voicemail. There is no more voicemail. It's all email. Everything's communicated by email. Now that you can get occasional text, but almost everything is email. We're talking about digital things. We're talking about technology things. A lot of things have been developed by the government, the military, and NASA. I told people that watch my show, I bought a new used SUV because my 2005 was falling apart on me. So I got 2018. It is so computerized, it just blows my mind.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's like, I plug in my smartphone, and it had all these apps come up on the screen. I can't even figure out, how do I even access this? So then I don't need a navigation system, because I plug in my iPhone into the outlet, and it puts it up on my display screen and has my navigation on the screen. Granted, it won't let you play DVDs. So I guess they don't want you watching DVDs. It won't let you play YouTube. I'm sure they're hacks, but I'm not going to void my warranty.
Right. What did you end up getting?
I got a 2018 Honda Pilot. I had a 2005 2018.
A Honda. Yeah,
so
I drive a Honda.
It's still computerized. It has like on my my right side mirror, which I don't think is that great, but anyway, it has a camera. So when I turn my right turn signal on, the camera comes on the camera that's on the right hand side mirror, and it displays people in that lane.
Yeah.
When I back up, there's a backup camera in the back, so it knows when I shift into reverse, backup camera. It has radar in the front that assists with if I sway out of my lanes. If I set a setting on it, if I start shifting, I get tired, I'm driving, and it somehow scans the markers in the lane. It'll tell me if I'm getting out of line. All computerized.
Yeah, in a way, it's kind of
smartphones.
Yeah,
you're lost without your smartphone. You lose your mind. Where did I put my phone?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not a phone. Literally. I mean, you use the phone 10%. It's like you use it for texting and for watching videos, and 70% of YouTube is viewed on a smart device. It's not viewed on a computer.
Yeah, exactly. Like
70%. So less, only 30% is actually viewed on a computer.
I wonder how many people list on eBay with their phones. Like,
that's the other thing. That's a pain. It was, especially I call it glitch pay. That's a real another issue.
I can't do it. I'm very old school. Like,
it's very difficult, in my opinion, to list, at least on eBay.
Yeah, me too.
But some people do it. They strictly use their phone. Yeah,
and more power to them. That's the new way to do it. I can't do it. I love a desktop. I love a laptop. I love a mouse. I couldn't do anything without.
One of my favorite inventions is the cordless mouse, the wireless mouse and keyboard.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it drives me nuts.
20 bucks.
My wife and my daughter, they use the trackpad on
Oh
their
my word.
laptops, and I have no idea how they survive. Like,
It would drive me crazy. And I see people with laptops that they're all worn out. The trackpads are all worn out.
yeah, and it's hilarious because it's just how it is.
Joel says, think about it. Your phone is a major authentication for security for you, your bank, apps, email, etc.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary too in a way. And technology is very
Well, that's
scary.
the other thing. I mean, I know we're getting a little sidetracked, guy, but we're talking about technology.
Sure.
Apple or iPhones just did an upgrade, a system upgrade. And what happened was, and I kind of assumed this, but and again, guys, believe me, I'm not getting political. I'm just stating a fact. All these various companies were tracking your activities through their apps. I didn't even know. I never gave them permission. So now when they did that update, that whatever the 14.1 or whatever it was, every individual app, when it does an update, it says, do you want to allow such and such app to track you while using this app, to track you all the time or not at all? Yeah. So apparently, how Google is tracking you and YouTube is Google. So, if you go on something and all these ads come up, it's like, oh yeah, well, I was researching, a liner for my SUV to protect the cargo space. So I got all these pop-up ads for car liner. But all these apps are tracking, where you were, what you were going to.
Yeah.
What does McDonald's need to know that I went to the bank, or that I'm if I'm using the app, yeah, you can know that I'm in Cherry Hill or I'm in Philadelphia, but you don't need to know for any other reason unless I'm using your app.
Yeah, and it's scary the amount of privacy that we've lost over the last 20 years because of these devices, and it's like,
and it's all digital and it's tracking and GPS and.
Yeah, it's scary. And the thing is, your phone can get hacked, and right. You can lose all your Bitcoins and all your money.
My accounts were hacked. That I keep getting a message. You got to change this email password, change this password, because they kept getting hacked.
Yeah. So it's kind of curious to see how technology
everything is so digitalized now. I mean, this is just a fact of life. This is the way things are going.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to do this show to kind of, let some of the viewers know that, you've probably been hearing the term NFTs kind of thrown around. And I kind of want to, just basically let everyone know, like, hey, this is a new collectible, thing that's going to be coming out, and it's kind of hot right now. And eventually it's going to, merge into everything that everyone's doing as a reseller, because there's so much money to be made on some of these if you can time it right.
There's going to be collectors. There's going to be flippers.
Yeah, absolutely. There's already flippers. There's already collectors. I sold a $4,000 digital baseball card 2 weeks ago.
A $4,000 digital baseball card.
$4,000. Someone paid me for a digital baseball card. That's when I was like, this is insane. This Absolutely. Is in there's some basketball ones called Top Shot, which is another blockchain. I forget what it's called. I think it's Flow is the blockchain, and they're doing basketball ones, and some of those have gone for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I mean, this is just for a digital collectible. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there, and some of this stuff is going to become worthless at some point. I think Gary Vee was talking about.
Well, that's the other thing. He said 97% of the things might be worthless.
Yeah, and I can believe that. I wouldn't say worthless, but like worth pretty much nothing.
Right,
but
not a much value, right?
Monetary value, right? Exactly.
Right.
And some of this stuff is going to rise to the top, and this is how it is right now. It's like like I said, we're in the first inning of this NFT thing, and eventually, you're going to get an NFT for this, and it's almost like a social award, like if you're watching a YouTube video, there might be some YouTubers that, give you an NFT for watching. You just have to click a link, and you can download it to your wallet, and it's proof that, you were there for that particular live event. And then maybe you can sell it down the road, or maybe that one little NFT that you got can make you get into an exclusive chat room, or there's lots of utilities for these things too. And like I said,
I was watching something on Twitch. I watch a lot of YouTube creator videos, trying to learn about YouTube. I want to learn about reselling. I want to learn about YouTube. That's my life these days. So I'm watching it, and then they gifted me some, I don't know, something on Twitch. I don't know what it was. I don't know,
Oh,
special subscription or something. I don't know.
right.
Because you can use your Amazon Prime. You can pay one of the creators to like one free Amazon Prime Twitch subscription.
Right. And so those things are fungible tokens. They're basically just like kind of like little kind of digital tokens that don't really have
tokens,
any,
right? That
that don't really.
Creator.
Yeah, and so the NFT ones, they're different because in a way, they're unique and you own them and you can sell them. Those things
Right.
are usually like, they're on a server, they're on the Twitch server and you don't own them. You just see them that they're in your digital wallet on the server. They're not, you can't basically, they're not on the blockchain. They're owned by Twitch. So
exactly.
Yeah, no, this is crazy.
So now when you said you've created NFT.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you sell that, you obviously you get paid for whatever that creation is.
Yeah.
And again, do you have that? The most creators have that where if the person sells it, they get a commission again?
So you have to set that up. So it's almost like, okay, so when you're listing on eBay, you know how like you set a like a price and a date, like a buy it now or whatever. So you want to sell like a baseball card for $10, you set it for $10. When you set up your NFTs, you set like, I want to sell these for and get 8% commission on any sale in the future. So it's almost like something you set in the listing when you're creating them on the Wax blockchain. On the Ethereum blockchain, it's probably a little different. And I definitely suggest no one getting involved with the Ethereum blockchain if you don't know anything about blockchain. Get into something like Wax that's very easy, user friendly. The fees are like incredibly low. Wax is like the NFT for the people for sure.
Can you see Joel's comment? Or
I see that it says, Chris, are there any specific contract language for buying and creating assets to create NFTs? So yeah, and it's basically you almost go to I think it's JSON. So if you're familiar with JSON code, you could basically create something from scratch, but there's a lot of these sites like Atomic Hub where you just basically use your account, your wallet, you sign in like if you were signing into eBay, and you basically create your NFT like if you're creating a listing on eBay. It's really that simple, and they do all the coding on the back end. So it's almost like when you list on eBay, do you know how to code for eBay for the website? No,
absolutely not.
eBay does, neither do I. eBay does it all for you. It's the same thing with NFTs on the Wax blockchain, especially through Atomic Hub. You post your picture, as long as you own that image, you're not going to post a picture of Chewbacca or some IP infringing thing. It's yours. You own it. You're an artist or whatever. You're a photographer. And it's almost like a listing. So the code language, you don't really have to worry about at this point because we're past that, unless you really want to get technical and really make your own kind of eBay site or something like that.
Now you were talking earlier about NFT music.
Yes.
Do you feel that's going to be? I mean, I don't know if we'll see that in my lifetime, but do you think in the future and everything will be NFT?
I don't think everything's going to be NFT. You'll be able to still like listen to a song on the radio or on your podcast.
Digital, I mean, everything on your smart device.
But I will say,
speaker.
But I will say there'll be a.
I can say Alexa, she's upstairs. She's not downstairs.
So you know how like iTunes, you pay like $1.99 for a song.
Right.
So NFTs, how that's going to change that is you're going to pay $1.99 for the song. But instead of like getting a file on your computer, which you're still going to get, an NFT is going to give you special ownership of that song. It doesn't mean that you can produce it and make copies of it. It just means that that particular $1.99 song that you bought is yours. Now you're saying, how is that different from the iTunes thing? Well, you really don't own that. It's basically just something that's on your computer. It's like a file on your computer. Sure, you can copy that and put it on different computers and things like that. But an NFT is a very unique file. You can't really copy that.
You can't transfer that, right? I mean, you own one individual copy, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, you can buy multiple.
Like
copies.
iTunes, you can play it on your smartphone, your smart speaker, your laptop, your car.
And so with NFTs, you can basically purchase that $1.99 song and sell it to your friend. You know what I mean? Instead of like, and then the
Right.
artist gets a piece of that sale. So what happens with iTunes is I'm willing to bet the artists basically sign off and say Apple gets like 70% of whatever
I'm
this
sure.
sells
Yeah, I'm
for.
sure it's very high
Now, instead
percentage.
of that, the artist is going to get the majority of the money. And not even that, the artist is going to get a percentage every time you sell
Right.
that thing.
Right.
So it's like imperative, like you're like, oh, well, you know, the artist is going to make that money. They're just going to copy these and send them all around. But no, they get a residual every time. So I think that's how it's going to change the music industry in terms of it cuts out the middlemen, which is scary to a lot of music executives. And they're
So we
probably,
as resellers could buy these digital NFTs
yeah.
and resell them.
Oh, absolutely. There's the Atomic Hub, and I talked about that. Well, hopefully we'll leave a link in the description for it's
Yeah, I'll leave
basically,
that after the video
yeah,
post. Chris sent me some links, and I'll post them in the video.
yeah,
Takes about 8 to 10 hours for my video to fully post. If I
yeah.
edit it before everything's posted, then it deletes the chat. So I'd like to leave the chat up.
So the Atomic Hub is like an eBay, basically. So you can buy and sell from there. What the money is usually made when you buy a pack that gets released. So, like Topps came out with their first 2021 set of baseball cards, right? The Series
Right.
1 digital cards. You buy a pack. The packs were like $100 and you got like 40 cards, right? 40 cards for $100. Those packs ended up selling for $1,000 3 days later.
I guess they, again, like with cards, the physical card, they had a limited amount of digital.
Right. Exactly. And those 10x in 3 days. So people were selling them for like $1,000.
10 times their value.
Right now, I would say I haven't looked in the last few days, but I'm guessing they're probably around $600 or $700. Still a tremendous.
What is this site you're talking about? Can you type it in the chat?
I don't have the chat thing,
okay,
but so it's through Atomic Hub. It's like the eBay for NFTs. But basically, Topps has a website. You log into their website with your Wax Cloud wallet, and then you purchase with a credit card, and then. I didn't get the packs that day. It's like I tried with 2 computers with my wife. It's almost like the whole thing again, where you're going to have to be lucky because there's a lot of people.
It's almost like getting concert tickets back in the day, or whatever. Yeah, you log on. Sales will be available on StubHub or not StubHub, but
right.
Whatever the vendor. I don't even know what the current vendors are. I've been to concert for so long, but then at 12 noon. So then everybody's logging in their phone, their smartphone, their laptop, their tablet. And everybody's trying to get a spot.
It's the same idea, and it's just, it's a novelty right now. It's very new. So there's, when Gary Vee talks about the bubble, it's because it's a novelty. It's like new kind of technology. I mean, this stuff has been out for many years, but finally it's starting to hit mainstream and people are starting to kind of, overprice things and stuff. But, I do believe it's going to be the future of a lot of these things.
So is it kind of like cryptocurrency? I mean, there's going to be like a shaking out of all the different things. I mean, there's so many different categories of NFTs.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's going to be at some point where, like I said, certain things get shooken out. And then for me, how my game plan is, and this is kind of letting you in on like my kind of mentality as a collector and a reseller, is I like to go after brands that are well established, like Topps. The Topps company has been around for 70 plus years.
They went around since like the 40s, 50s.
Yeah, I think their Topps's first card was 1951. If someone can fact check me on that, I'm pretty sure I'm right. But
Fleer, are they even still in business?
Fleer, I want to say sold to another company. But what I'm saying is those are the brands of NFTs that I go for. Something well established, has a huge backing. So when Funkos come out this summer, everyone's probably going to hear about Funko digital NFTs. I'm telling you right now, this is you're getting a sneak peek into the next hot thing that's going to come out. Are going to be these Funko digital NFTs. I think there's going to be a huge rush to try to get those. Those are going to moon. Those are going to go up in value. And then they're going to cool down a little bit after, the first week. And then but that's my game plan usually when I'm doing NFTs.
So the Funko Pop digital NFT is going to be as collectible as the exclusive Funko Pop that was only available at, Target or Walmart or whatever.
Absolutely. The only thing is there's a divide within collectors of traditionalist versus, contemporary collectors. A lot of the traditionalists, which would be myself. Like I love physical stuff. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
I'm not, pig-headed enough to be like, oh, this digital thing is stupid. Like you don't own it. It's not physical. I don't see it that way. I see it as just another version of a collectible. I don't see it as good or bad. And I think there's a lot of people that when those Funkos come out, they're going to poo-poo all over it. They're not going to like it. They're like, why would I want a digital version of something that I can't hold in my hand? It's just another thing. It's like another collectible. It's just something some people, and here's a nice part about these things. Like I said, there's no chargeback. Someone's not going to return your digital
once you
thing.
sell it,
yeah, once you sell it, it's sold. There's no chargeback.
You're not going to have returns.
There's no shipping. There's those fees.
They're going to have item not as described, INADs.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like I wanted to do a meme where I'm like, this is my this is my NFT inventory. And it's just going to be a blank spot on the floor. Cause it's like you hold all these NFTs on your phone. They're all on the web. They're all on the internet. So, I think
eventually, I'm assuming eventually, I mean, like everything else, like, you have to adapt, you have to change with the times. So I guess eventually Amazon and eBay and Etsy and all, I'm assuming Etsy would probably get involved in something like this because they're an art thing.
I wouldn't say that you have to adapt, that you have to change. I just think
you don't have to get involved in NFTs,
right?
But I mean,
exactly. I'm saying that this is going to be a parallel to what everyone's doing.
Right.
So think about it. Resellers, they go to garage sales. They go. I don't say they. We go to garage.
The collective we. Yeah.
The collective we go and we buy stuff to resell. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? It's the same thing. It's like it's just another category of things that are coming.
An additional thing to sell.
Additional thing to sell. Like
book to put in your library, so to speak.
Yeah, and what's nice is there's the technical barrier, which in a way sucks, and in a way is good because there's going to be some people that are like, I don't want to deal with this. This is too complicated. Like, and those are the people that are going to lose. And it's actually,
just for an example, look at the cord cutters. I mean, I couldn't even guess what the numbers are. 50%, 60%, 70%. People have cut the cord and everything. They're watching digitally.
Yeah.
With Netflix and everything.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's just going to be another thing for people to kind of look out for. If you don't want to get involved, you don't have to. It's like if I see Beanie Babies at the store, I don't have to buy them. Right. Digital NFTs are going to be the same way. And there's a digital barrier, which is good for resellers because
it's a learning curve too. I mean, people,
that's what I'm saying.
In the 50s and 60s is, it's.
At some point, it's going to be so easy for everyone to get in. Right now, it's pretty easy to get into the Wax blockchain, but at some point, it's going to be way easier, and the competition is going to be insane. Like getting packs is going to be almost impossible.
We say get into the Wax blockchain. Me as a consumer, can I go in now and just open an account?
Yeah, and it's free. It's like almost like if you were just signing up for Facebook. It's literally that easy. So those links that I gave you.
So your advice, even if you don't buy something, would just to get an account?
Absolutely. It's like free. It's you can get a Wax cloud wallet. You'll sign in with your Google. Okay. So there's like literally a dozen ways to sign in. Just like if you were signing up for Facebook, you know how
sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, sign in with your email, sign in with your phone number.
It's the same way. And I would suggest people to sign in with their Google accounts because it's just so much easier. And there's a lot more things to get into with the cloud wallets and things like that. Of course, you want to have your passwords on your Google account, not like password 123, because if someone gets into your Google account, there's a possibility they can get into your NFTs and move them and stuff. So same security stuff, there's also private keys that you can have, but that's a little advanced for what we're talking about now.
We're just talking about the basics.
We're just talking about like NFTs are here to stay. There is a bubble. It is a craze right now, but at some point it's going to level out and the cream's going to rise to the top. And if you're getting in now, I think it's going to be a good thing for you.
Well, and again, I'm just starting to hear about these the last few months. I mean, obviously, I'm not a 30-year-old, or I'm not in IT, or I'm not in that genre thing. So, I mean, you said you've been in since 2016.
I've been into NFTs since 2016. I've been into blockchain since 2012. So I've seen this this whole thing blow up, and now it's kind of exciting because
So it's been in existence for like 5-6 years now.
oh yeah,
And
like
I just heard about it the last few months.
so the very first ones were like the very first popular one were like these kitties, these cats that you were able to mate. So two digital cats, you mate them together,
Oh,
and then
really?
they don't show them like doing the deed or anything like
Right,
that.
but digital
But
cats, and they
it's
created
digital
a kitten?
cats, and they create a kitten, and then
Digital kitten. Okay.
that kitten is like fully grown when it gets made, and then it has the characteristics of the two parents,
Okay.
and then you could take that kitten and mate it with another kitten to make another one, and then it's generations. So that was like that was the first major NFT to really become mainstream. That was like 2017, 2018, I want to say. And then different companies have done different ones of that kind of thing. So that's what
are GIFs or people selling NFTs like GIFs NFTs?
Yeah, I've made them. Yeah, you can do that. Like the thing is, you have to own the copyright. It's like you can't just take one off the internet.
You have to copyright it somehow on the digital sphere.
You don't really. It's like you don't copyright it, but if you have stuff that's not yours, it's going to get removed. You know, from the gatekeepers of if
there's a lot of people that are in reselling that are artists. I mean, they
exactly
like doing things on
oh
their
my
own.
god,
They don't want to work for the man. They don't want a job. So there's a lot of artists that are in the reselling community. So maybe they could get involved in creating.
I told you, like,
art.
I can quit my job right now and live off NFT stuff for now, the way it is now. So, if you're struggling with something, if you're an artist and you can make something digitally, hell, even physically, you can just take a picture of your physical art and sell it as an NFT. I think this is for you. For right now, it's all like a novelty, like I was saying earlier. It's for artists. It's for creative people that want to do stuff. But eventually it's going to start to get out of that box and start to become concert tickets and shoes and
I like the idea of concert
that.
tickets. I mean, I know I used to not collect, but if I went to a sporting event, I still have the ticket,
Yeah. And now you would have a digital version of your ticket that you can actually sell.
So I want the concert. I want the concert ticket.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to a concert, you want to get the concert T-shirt.
Right, exactly. And it's funny because I've made NFT T-shirts. I've done that. So what I've done is for some of my NFTs that I've done is I've made packs where people can open them and they get different collectibles. And then there's an NFT that is redeemable for a T-shirt, and I'll mail them a T-shirt. Right. So there's so many opportunities here, and like I said, I really appreciate you like reaching out and us talking about this because I know it's very confusing. And I know as a YouTube creator, like I don't like making videos on subjects that just lose people. They're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Because it makes you feel stupid. It makes me feel stupid, and I don't want people to feel stupid, but I want people to know that this is going to be the next big thing, and it's happening now.
Jules wants to know what an NFT T-shirt is.
Oh, it's basically like if you just create a digital T-shirt and then you sell it to someone, and then they can take that digital shirt and then redeem it for a real shirt. So I would sell you the digital copy. You can sell it, keep it, whatever. It's like a token. You give me the token, the digital token, and I mail you a shirt. That's basically how that would work. Or it doesn't even have to be that. You can make digital T-shirts and sell them. And then people can just collect digital T-shirts if they're into that, if they want to.
Out of curiosity, is there a market for that, or is it you just created something new?
No, I've done it before. Like I've made digital T-shirts and sold them, and one of the things that I do is I have an Etsy shop. Right, I sell T-shirts on Etsy. Right. I do print on demand.
Right.
Doing fantastic with that, by the way. Another thing that people should look into if they're creative.
As a side note, what particular vendor do you recommend for?
I use Printful.
Printful.
I use
Printful. Yep.
I like Printful. I love Printful. Okay. I've been with them for many years, and you can just attach it to your Etsy shop, and you design a shirt, you sell it on Etsy, they send it out. You don't deal with anything but customer service. Every once in a while, you'll get a return or something.
I hear Printful is one of the better ones. Yep.
Oh, it's amazing. So, it's almost like the same thing, but where was I going? Oh yeah. So when someone buys a physical shirt from me, and they leave a review on my Etsy shop, I send them a digital NFT of their shirt as like a receipt when they leave a review.
Okay.
So not only does it incentivize the sale of the shirt for someone that wants a digital copy, oh, that's cool, I want a digital copy of this, but it also shows proof of ownership that you own that shirt and you've left a review for me, which also incentivizes people to leave a review, which most people don't leave reviews on Etsy. They just take the shirt and they're done with you.
Right.
So NFTs are going to be another way to incentivize YouTube views, like just engagement. Imagine if you gave an NFT to everyone that leaves a comment in your thing. And by the way, if you're watching this and you set up a wallet on Wax and you leave a comment below with your Wax wallet, I will send you some NFTs, which will include some Topps
you have like
baseball cards.
Are you supposed to post your Wax ID? Is that safe?
You can, because it's the blockchain. Remember, I was saying that everything is visible. So some people, they want to keep their things private, and that's fine. But the blockchain is a digital
they have
ledger.
to comment on this video.
Comment on the video, and they're put it in their Wax wallet.
With their Wax chain.
Their Wax blockchain wallet, which is like
blockchain wallet.
It's going to be 6 digits .wham. So, and then I'll send you a NFT into your wallet. I'll send you multiple NFTs, by the way.
Well, just this is the side note, guys, and we're gonna. I want to make sure we have any questions that we may have missed, or if you have any additional questions, ask Chris, because he's giving up. He's actually on his lunch hour right now.
Yeah,
he's out in the West Coast.
We're almost
to the end. So much supposed to say, dopey YouTuber. And I got sidetracked. See, that's why I have her run a show. Lost my train of thought. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, guys, so are there any other additional questions? I know what it was. I was watching a show today and I got a call from Randy, and I'm assuming Randy's still in the chat. We were talking about reselling. We're talking about, that's one of my additional, I want to get more into hard goods. So I'm starting to sell remotes. I know it's not related to NFTs, but just as a side thing. And he called me, and I was watching a show on building your mailing list. And I'm thinking of what you're saying now. They said give something of value.
Yeah.
So maybe I could create an NFT.
You could.
If somebody signs up for my mailing list, they get an NFT. I mean, not that I'm creative, but it might be a way for the artist folks out there to do that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like that, you incentivize. So in return to signing up on my mail list, you're going to get my NFT. Right. Now that sounds nice and everything, but remember that there's going to be like logistics behind that. Now you're going to have to send NFTs to everyone that's in your list. So that's a whole other conversation itself, because there are tools to send to multiple wallets at once and things like that. So it's not like I have to send one to one to one to one to one. You can batch send them all with certain software. You can send them as a batch. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it says, do you own designs or do you found on that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are things that you create with. Right. Yeah, these aren't copyright infringing things. Like if you do copyright infringing things, you're bad. That's not. You're gonna, at some point, and that's another whole conversation too. Right now, there's so many people making NFTs with infringing copyright stuff. Like, oh, really? It would blow your mind. At some point, companies are going to crack down hard. It's that early where people are like bootlegging so much stuff right now that they don't own. And eventually the hammer's going to come down. Like I said, we're in the very first inning of this baseball game. And eventually in the third or fourth inning is when lawyers are going to be involved and things are going to start to become standardized. The NFT blockchains are going to, oh, this is the one that you need to put NFTs on. You know what I mean? All that stuff is going to start to get standardized. And I think it's going to become just a normal thing. Jules, I should definitely, I know I have Chris's YouTube channel and his other things. That was the other thing we never even got involved in. Chris is running. How many different stores are you running now for the American Cancer Society? Oh, we have one store. Yeah, we have one store. Aren't you managing several different things? Yeah, so we have about 50 physical locations, right, and the majority of them will send me stuff and we'll list. So if you want to support the American Cancer Society, Adam will leave a link to our eBay link store in the description of the video. Please do check out our stuff. If you want to send us an offer on something that you think might be a little bit higher priced, or if you want a good deal on something, send us an offer, a respectable offer, and we'll definitely consider that. All the money, goes to our mission of trying to fight cancer, trying to save lives. So definitely check that out. And Sharon's been sharing your links, and Jules, she did post Chris's Instagram, so you can send him a private message on Instagram if you want to reach out to Chris.
Sure.
Okay. So I was going to make a comment. Did you want to say anything in closing?
No, I just want to say thank you, Adam. I really appreciate you reaching out. This topic is a little complicated, and I get that, but I'm glad that we were here to at least plant the seeds for future entrepreneurs.
Well, like I said, I don't know if it's a year from now or 5 years from now or 6 months from now, but eventually, I think obviously you're a reseller, you're involved in NFTs, and I think it's like I didn't realize they were been in existence since 2016.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
They were probably around before then, but
Before
they started to become big this year and last year, but they've been around for a while. Right.
So anyway, guys, what I normally say, and time is your most valuable asset. So I did, and I learned that from another YouTuber, a professional athlete who does the YouTube show that's from Philadelphia, who is now in Phoenix area. But anyway, time is your most valuable asset. So I want to thank Chris for his time, giving of his time to educate us, and I appreciate his friendship and his support and his help with my channel. And I appreciate all of you that are here, and those of you that watch the replay. I appreciate your time again, because your time is the most valuable asset, and we all have the same amount of time in the course of a day. One thing I wanted to mention was, as I mentioned before, I'm not monetized on YouTube. If you're getting any value on my channel, please consider helping me out. I have Buy Me Coffee, PayPal, Cash App, etc. The links in the description below. So getting some value, consider helping me out. And please don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out, guys. Helps the get the YouTube video out there, and we can have more people learn about NFTs. Very good, all. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it much. See you next Wednesday.